Hello everyone, welcome to the Geekdom Podcast, the place where we outcast come to talk about the things we love. And we have Ralph back again. The last one was very, very fun, so we're back again. Now, How are you doing, Ralph? How are you doing? Just before we get started, how are you doing?
I'm not bad. Just been keeping up with stuff. My film's come out yesterday.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool. Which we talk about on my podcast. Check that out.
Yeah, you should go check that out. We'll jump right in.
Yep.
We finally caught up with Daredevil.
We are up to date.
What do you think?
Alright. Are we just talking Born Again or just generally? Because this is my first time finishing season 3. And I've got to say, boy howdy.
Yeah, season 3. It's very special. It's very special.
Yeah.
To jump from season 3 to Born Again, how did you feel?
Right. I think Born Again is worse than 3 and 1, but better than 2, in my humble opinion.
I completely agree. I think that's a very fair take. Yeah, I like that.
My favourite part of the show is the brief interaction with the Punisher so far.
In fact, I'd say it's one of the best MCU pieces of dialogue ever.
It's so good, isn't it?
Unbelievably good.
It's so good.
With just a little spoiler warning here. So if you haven't watched the first 5 minutes of Daredevil Born Again,
apologies.
Foggy.
Yeah.
What did you think? It broke my heart. Completely.
I was very shook. It did seem a bit redundant, right? Because the whole thing was they shot a version of it without either of them in it at all, without Foggy, without Karen.
And I think that would have been even worse.
Which would have been even worse. But then just to bring them back for Foggy for 5 minutes and then Karen for one extra scene. I hope at least Karen comes back at the end of it, just because it just feels a bit redundant.
Once again, spoilers. Have you seen the season 2 leaks?
I have not seen the season 2 leaks. Not all of them.
Okay, so Karen.
Big spoilers.
Karen, she's in it.
In season 2.
Have you seen the suit?
The black and
red suit.
I'm just happy there's a double D on his chest.
I am so pleased. The suit looks exceptional. We finally got Daredevil with the double Ds.
Yep, we love our double D Daredevil.
Looks amazing. I'd say
really good.
The best costume Charlie Cox has ever worn.
I would agree.
It is so good. I think it's perfect, and I think it really fits the tone. But right now we're in the red suit. He's currently fighting Muse and stuff. I'm assuming you've watched last week's episode. Yeah, I'm completely
up to date.
Obviously, there's an episode at the time of recording coming out later today, so we'll have to catch up on that. But
no, tomorrow, isn't it? It's Tuesday.
Either way, right?
There's another episode coming out.
By the time this comes out, there will have been an episode that we haven't seen.
So we've just seen. What's the therapist called again?
She's called. You see, this is the thing. I saw a meme about this today.
No one knows
any of the side characters. I love Daredevil Born Again so much, but I know none of the side characters' names, and I think that's so apt because I have no idea who she is.
No.
But she shot Muse.
She shot Muse is where we're up to.
Which is pretty insane. He's back in the suit finally.
Yeah.
And it looks sensational. I think it's really picked up.
I agree. The bank heist episode. The bank heist episode. What was your thoughts?
You see, I think I'm in the minority here. I actually really liked it. I thought his interactions with Kamala's dad, I thought they were all brilliant. I thought it was a cool side of Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock. I thought that was really cool. The plot itself, it was obviously filler, but we did get a 2-episode release on that day.
I agree. My thing with it is, and maybe this is because of the way a lot of the other Disney shows have come on, where they're one continuous extended story, whereas this one feels a bit more bitty. If that makes sense.
Elaborate a little bit more.
So, with
Moon Knight, start to finish, it's one story.
With Moon Knight, it follows the structure of a film. It's just longer across 8 episodes. So you get the exposition of in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You get the confusion where it starts with Steven.
Yeah.
And then. He wakes up and he breaks his jaw and then this and that and he comes back, and the second one you have the Jackal who Moon Knight. Oh, does he suit up at the end of the first one?
He suits up right at the end of the first one, I believe, because he's in the bathroom when he's fighting the Jackal.
Exactly. Yeah, so you get that sort of initial everything, the expositions in those first 2 episodes. Then it's you got your rise in action in the next episode, and then it climax, and then it builds up to that last episode. This one, it feels a lot more like there's exposition in each episode, and there's a climax in each episode, if that makes more sense.
It's difficult because obviously the show, Matt Murdock as a character has already been established by 3 seasons of
TV. Yeah, so it is it feels like they're stuck between a reboot and a season 4, in my opinion.
You see, before we had the Doomsday announcements, which we'll get onto, I thought this show felt like either a bunch of exposition ready for an amazing season 2 of one big story, maybe going from Devil's Reign in the comics for my comic fans out there.
Yeah.
Or they were building him into the MCU to then plonk him right in Doomsday or Secret Wars.
Or Spider-Man.
And have everyone really excited about the character again.
Yeah.
Now that we've had the Doomsday the cast released.
Is that the whole cast, though? Do you think?
See, I don't know. I mean, we'll get onto that in a moment. But I'm starting to think that what is it? Is it a 12 episode or 8 episode show? Daredevil.
I think it's 9. Or something like that.
Something like that. So
I googled it the other day.
Let's say it was 9 episodes. We've had 6, 7 so far. Something like that.
7. We're on 7.
7, which means we've got 2 episodes left.
Yes.
For this story to come full circle. And I feel the way they handled Muse, if they were supposed to set him up as some big bad, A, nothing like what he is in the comics, and B, he died straight away.
Here's what I'm thinking this goes. Because Muse has died, we don't really have a big bad for a climactic final episode.
Yeah.
Are you going to establish one the episode before?
No idea, because there's no way they deal with Fisk now.
Because the Punisher Task Force copycat group thing aren't really known to Daredevil. He's obviously found the bullet casing with the Punisher logo, goes to confront Frank about it, see if it's anything to do with him.
And at the end of the last episode we've watched,
they take credit
on the
for
TV that obviously they did it.
Yeah.
But
so he obviously hasn't connected the dots on screen, at least. They're responsible for White Tiger's death.
Yes.
So I'm kind of currently thinking, I feel like Muse isn't dead, because I don't see a way you establish a villain for a final episode without it just feeling like an unsatisfying ending, if that makes sense.
Well,
because I had a theory that the way the show was going to go was Fisk trying to, because he's got some like twisted psychology where what he's doing is for the better of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought of the show was going to be, he goes, my criminal ways weren't working because Daredevil would foil me, the police, XYZ, whatever. So I'm going to try to do it the legit way. I'm going to become the mayor and this and that and the other.
Mm-hmm.
So my theory was he tries to do it the right way, and then it just doesn't work for him. And because he's quite childish and quite impatient, he just goes, fuck it. I'm going back to doing it myself, my criminal way.
Well, see,
was where I thought the show was going to go. But I don't think it goes that way anymore.
As I mentioned about 2 minutes ago, there is a comic run called Devil's Reign.
Yep.
Where in it, Wilson Fisk becomes the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
He knows Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
Yep.
He creates an anti-vigilante task force to kind of stop vigilantes. And it ties in all of the street-level heroes, which is what I was really hoping for when it was first announced. Because I know they called it Born Again, but it wasn't really going to follow the Born Again story.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be Devil's Reign, and that really excited me because there's some really great Spider-Man moments in that whole series, and I was hoping for a few different characters and stuff like that. But I just don't understand how they're going to make it work. I mean, in Devil's Reign, Matt Murdock, he kind of like erases Wilson Fisk's memory through magic-y things to stop him from remembering that it's Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
Okay.
They're not going to do that because I feel like it would really take away from the grounded thing we've got so far.
Really.
But I'm really hoping that they go for... They also fake Matt Murdock's death, which I think is a very possible thing that could
definitely happen, yeah.
I think they could do that. I think it's very likely that we'll see a lot of more street-level heroes in Season 2, and they'll probably build on it more. I think this season is a stepping stone for later projects.
Right, okay. So you think it'll age better after...
Mm-hmm.
The second season, and maybe even brand new day.
Yeah, I think if we watch it again after we've watched those next 2 movies and projects, it'll be way better because we'll notice things. Speaking of,
sorry, can I just before we move on, out of 10 so far, Born Again?
Born Again. Oh, 7.
I'm saying a 6.
I was thinking in the 6, 7, 8 range.
It could stick the landing. I'm not. It started really promising. I was very excited. It's kind of tailed off after sort of the bank episode because I just felt like it didn't fit within the grander story of that.
You see, I would say the complete opposite. I found that the first episode was really good, really enjoyed it. Second episode trailed off, third episode trailed off, really kept trailing off until he put the suit back on again. Because I feel that in season 3 and season 2, we've had multiple I don't want to be Daredevil things anymore. I was like, oh god, we're doing it again. And then finally, he's got the suit back on. It feels closer to what we had before.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand where you're coming from, because that bank episode was a little bit...
It just... Unless it ties into the last one, which it could. So this is the problem with doing it, like, halfway through the series, is you don't really know how the loose ends are going to tie up. So unless it ties up, because they're still in it for Luca, right? Who has just recently died in the newest episode.
Yes.
Which, by the way, do you think Vanessa set him up or set Fisk up?
I think Vanessa set him up.
I agree.
See, because I think you're supposed to think that she set Fisk up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was literally like, can you ask Vanessa if I should bring her some of this home or whatever? I think if you'd have asked me a few episodes ago, I'd have said that Vanessa set Fisk up. But I think their relationship is getting a little bit stronger again now, and I think she trusts Fisk a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, I do agree with you, although I think it would be cool, and, you know, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to be the other way around.
Absolutely not. We just have to wait until the next episode, because I'm sure we'll find out very soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Right, anyway, Daredevil done?
I have a question for you.
You have a question for me? Ask away.
Are you going to go and see the Minecraft movie?
I want to, but I just don't think I will.
I will tell you this, Ralph.
Yeah.
That movie is sensational. It is Oscar worthy.
Okay.
It has zero plot. Absolutely zero plot.
Which has more plot, this or Deadpool 3? Coin flip.
It could be this. It could be. Deadpool 3 had no plot. But Minecraft movie, poor dialogue.
Yeah, I believe so.
Some terrible acting. Zero plot. Amazing.
See, the thing is, I've already seen most of the film just off people recording it
on TikTok and stuff, yeah. It's genuinely Jack Black shouting Minecraft words for like 2 hours.
What else do you need?
It is genuinely amazing. Him and, what's his name?
Jason
Momoa. Their relationship on screen, unbelievable. I was like laughing. Like it wasn't even like, I wasn't like, oh, he said flint and steel, I'm laughing. It was genuinely like, whenever Jason Momoa was doing anything, I found it funny. And I know that might be like a terrible take. I know I probably laugh really easily. But I genuinely think it's a really funny film. And people should go and watch it just for the experience of seeing it. You might never watch it again. But it's certainly going to spawn quite a few 2-week Minecraft phases. I know it has for me.
Are you back on it?
I'm playing so much Minecraft because... I mean, I haven't touched Minecraft in years, but like it's spawned a 2-week Minecraft phase for me, definitely. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get it out of the way.
You just wanted to get out of the way that you enjoyed it.
I had to mention the Minecraft movie because
of course.
It's just huge right now.
Did you ever have Minecraft Lego? Because that was elite.
I had one box of it, and I got like this box of Minecraft Lego that was almost like a build-it-yourself kit, and then I opened it up and I realised, hang on, Minecraft is basically just Lego, so it was just a box of bricks. There was no set.
I think they got the same one. It was like it come with like a skeleton minifigure, a zombie minifigure, a Steve.
Yeah, they just cheated a living.
And then like a bit you could make a crafting table out of, and a furnace, and then it was just like bricks.
Yeah, they cheated a living there, Lego, because they just released a box of nothing and said, you can use your imagination with the Minecraft. And it's like, you're waffling. You're absolutely waffling.
That'll be 40 quid, please.
Mental. I tell you what, though, this isn't on our podcast roster.
On the list.
But we know me. I'm a Lego YouTube channel, and we know that I love Lord of the Rings.
We do love Lord of the Rings.
Have you seen the Lego Shire? It has been announced. It's on its way. The pictures are beautiful. I would feel that I'm not doing my job as a Lego YouTuber if I didn't mention the set. It is gorgeous. It's got like some outrageous, like 2,000 pieces. It's got a ton of minifigures. It is beautiful. If you haven't seen the set, go take a look because it is wonderful. I am hoping, fingers crossed, to do a video on it at some point when it comes out.
Very nice, very nice. Right, should we move on to...
Avengers Doomsday.
Yes.
We had the live stream.
We did.
Which was quite something. I thought it was a bit of a weird thing for them to do.
I just think it didn't make sense to take that long, to be honest. I have a feeling it was meant to be quicker and then just RDJ was stuck in traffic or something.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he's on set for 6 hours just to walk down.
So do you think it was an actual live? Or did you because there was a part of me that was thinking, is there a way that they've like cheated it and they've basically uploaded a video? Because
They could have just live streamed like a display capture, basically.
I thought it took a really long time.
Apologies if you heard my phone.
Yeah. I thought it took an insanely long time.
It did take ages. It was a cool concept though to do the chairs.
Yeah, I liked it, and I liked that they got a bit creative with it sometimes. I mean, with the music, and then you had obviously Paul Rudd's chair was smaller because he's Ant-Man. I liked all of that. I thought it was a bit long.
I appreciated the I think I mentioned it last podcast. The more open, like we know we're getting Ian McKellen. We know we're getting Sir Patrick Stewart. Channing Tatum.
Oh, I'm really excited. James Marsden,
of course. You know, we're getting a lot of these characters.
I think for the first time ever, we're finally getting the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men in a Marvel
project.
Film.
Yeah.
The only thing that's missing is my boy Spider-Man, but he's got his own film coming out.
See, this is the thing. You could have gone two ways with Spider-Man, I feel, which is like the Spider-Man film is about sort of him not knowing what to do now that he's seen RDJ's face as Doctor Doom. And you could kind of go off that, and then it's kind of separate, but it's kind of not. But I feel like it wouldn't have made sense as much.
I mean, before we keep talking about Spider-Man, I just want to mention, obviously...
We'll stay on Doomsday.
No, I mean, we can tie it in because they all happen at the same time. We just got to say, the title was announced.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Brand New Day,
That's pretty cool.
Do you think it would be close to the Brand New Day comics, or do you think they're just kind of cashing in on...
Brand New... I can't even remember the Brand New Day
It's the follow-up to the Mephisto storyline, which they loosely based...
One More Day.
One More Day, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they will. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that it's genuinely just called that as a reference. And see, I've already been denied what I hope the film is. So we know that it's coming out in between Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yep.
I was really hoping, okay, he's finally in the red and blues. He's on his own. He's definitely getting more street level. He's got no Stark tech or anything like that.
Yep.
Give me a proper gritty street level. Tie it into Daredevil, Kingpin, Spider-Man.
I wanted Kingpin and Daredevil.
They've told us it's multiversal.
Have they said that?
I'm pretty sure they came out and said that.
I missed that if they did.
And what I'm kind of gauging from it is he will be sucked onto Battleworld, but not in Doomsday. And what I'm thinking is going to happen is because in Secret Wars in the comics he gets the black suit. We all know that that's probably where they're going to end up going down the road. I think we'll have Brand New Day. The whole film will be him on Battleworld doing all sorts of shenanigans, and he will get the black suit at the end.
Do you reckon that's where Sadie Sink comes into it, and where you could potentially get a Gwen Stacy and a Miles Morales?
I think so. I think we could see something like... I think Sadie Sink could play an MJ, or she could even play someone like Jean Grey. I know people have been saying that.
Is there any chance you think she plays Gwen Stacy?
I don't know.
I can see it. Because...
Do you think she'll play Spider-Verse Gwen, or do you think she'll play Gwen Stacy?
Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman.
Yeah, because... Spider-Verse, or Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman?
As in live action, the animated made live action?
Yes.
No, I think it's a separate character.
Standard, okay.
Because she's a pretty big name, especially after Stranger Things.
Yeah.
She's become a lot more of a main, likeable character after the role she had in the newest season of Stranger Things.
Yep.
She's... people will say, she's not blonde. Hair dye exists and wigs exist.
Exactly. So that won't be a problem.
She's
a solid actress
She's a solid actress, yeah. And I just think that it makes the most sense because she could, if you wanted to do either a show or a spin-off film about her, she's enough of a name to carry that show without a Tom Holland, Zendaya,
I could see that.
Whoever it is.
Do you think they'll bring her into the main continuity? Do you think she's from another dimension, but then at the end of Secret Wars, she comes to... do they call it 616? I know it's not 616, but do they call it 616 in the MCU still? They
did in Multiverse of Madness.
Well, let's just go with that. I know it's not 616, because that's the comics universe.
Because originally it was 1999999 or something.
Well, people thought that, but now we've seen Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man messing up time streams in that universe. So people are now questioning whether that's Earth 199999. So
it doesn't really matter.
Anyway, Earth. Do you think Ghost Spider will come to the MCU universe? If the Fantastic Four and the X-Men are probably going to come over.
I think she could. I think it depends what they go for it. If they're saying this is Tom Holland's last Spider-Man, which I could see.
Really? Because he has spoken about Miles replacing him before.
I could see this. So if they do that, it's whether they go... we're going to replace him in-universe, or whether they go, we're then going to explore alternate universes. Because, obviously, it's whether the MCU wants Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy as part of their continuity, or Sony reboot.
I just don't know if they do. I think there's a very real chance that... I don't think it's Tom's last. Because if he's... I reckon he gets the black suit, either in Brand New Day or in Secret Wars, and they have so much content they can pull from that. I will say this, I highly doubt they make the black suit evil in Secret Wars. I think it's going to be just positives from the black suit, so that when they make a sequel to that, for him in the black suit and a Venom villain, it can properly turn him off it.
Could you see a world where it's a bit more sneaky evil? Like, maybe it's like, I don't know, insert Marvel character needs saving, and Tom Holland comes in the black suit and saves them, and then they maybe throw one punch too many that, injures someone in a way that Spider-Man wouldn't.
I think that's a very real possibility. I think the suit will be... Obviously, we know that Peter's probably a little depressy boy at this point in the MCU. No one remembers him. He's got nothing.
He's literally got nothing.
If he gets
a nice flat, though.
If he gets a suit that makes him basically unbeatable, I think he's going to love it. It's going to give him a massive power trip. He's going to feel a lot better about himself. He's going to feel great. Because this black suit is often described like doing drugs. Like, I think it's going to make... I think he's going to love it until I think Secret Wars, as I said... It's going to be all positives. He's going to do really well in the black suit.
So you think he ends Secret Wars still with the suit?
I think he ends Secret Wars still super happy in the suit. And then we'll get another Spider-Man film where, for those of you who have read The Superior Spider-Man, there is a part of that comic where Doc Ock is in Peter's body, but he doesn't really realise Peter's strength, and he punches Scorpion's jaw off. And I think that could very much happen, like you just said. He's not going to realise the strength of the black suit, and he's going to really injure someone without meaning to. And that's going to start the downward spiral of taking the suit off. I think...
Which then leads to Eddie Brock and Venom.
In the comics, the black suit was a great thing for a really long time, and then they just randomly decided, I want him wearing the red and blue again, let's make it evil. Okay. So I think they'll go down that route instead of the Spider-Man 3. It's great for 20 minutes, and then it's terrible.
So, sorry, just to circle us back to Doomsday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who was in it, who maybe shocked you.
Okay, the Fox cast.
All of it.
All of it. Because I don't think... First of all, if they do the Fox cast, they either have to kill them all off or, dear God, the gambling. I mean, with respect to the GOATs, Sir Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, they're not very young anymore.
No.
And if you're expecting them to play the X-Men in the MCU again for a long time, you're asking for trouble.
Someone raised a good point, which is... A large part of Magneto's character is being a Holocaust survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Given the MCU's a few years ahead of us.
Oh.
Like, he can't be... Without some sort of time manipulation, multiversal bullshit, he couldn't really be a Holocaust survivor. Because when you look at, like... So Iron Man originally was the Vietnam War in the 70s in the comics, and then they obviously moved him to Afghanistan in the Middle East in 2008 because that's where the world was.
Happening,
and then obviously
I
don't know what else you could really do with that.
I have a bit of a weird take.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a very real chance we see them not as the Fox X-Men, but maybe as the 97 X-Men.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I think they do that and then they leave. They go back to their own universe and they do X-Men 97 Season 2.
Yeah, I don't think that...
they're not sticking around.
I don't think at least Sir Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, XYZ stick around in the main MCU.
I don't think they can do that. I think they're signing on for something way too big. I think it was good when Patrick Stewart was in Multiverse because it was a one-shot appearance. It was fine. I mean, James Marsden, Channing Tatum, they're still young. Channing Tatum was never in the Fox. He could literally he could keep playing Gambit for all I care.
And we don't actually know he came from that universe.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Because he said, maybe he was born here, which even means he came so young, he came to the Void so young, even younger than Sylvie, because Sylvie was a child and she comes so young he doesn't actually have any memories of his home universe.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you think that the Gambit coming in Doomsday is going to be the Gambit from Deadpool?
I do think so, yeah.
Do you think it's going to be the same? It's not going to be like
because we saw, it was a deleted scene, but we saw like a sling ring in his eye.
Oh, yeah, the sling ring thing, yeah.
And it was in the post-credit scene on a little monitor.
Well, here's what confuses me. I think that the Fantastic Four are coming to the main continuity.
I agree.
So how is that universe going to come to us, but the X-Men aren't?
Yeah. You'd have to have
I think you have to have
some sort of selective incursion, basically.
Yeah. I think we're gonna see some deaths.
Unless the Fantastic Four film ends with their universe being destroyed and they escape to the MCU.
Maybe. I mean, it is shown in the trailer that he's looking at some sort of multiversal travel. He's got it on his whiteboard or something, and I think so. That is a possibility. I don't know.
It doesn't seem very Fantastic Four though to be like, well, this world's fucked. Let's jump ship.
Yeah, that's true. I
feel like they're more to go down like die trying.
Yeah, I think so as well. Unless it's like an accidental thing, or because I mean,
it's.
I think realistically, if let's say they're up in space, right? Galactus then scans their world. Then they might as well go to the MCU. Do you know what I mean? Because Galactus is the villain. If he's eating their world and they've got no way to go back to it, then I could see it. I don't know what the plan is.
I guess we'll obviously find out when it comes out,
but in Secret Wars in the comics, Galactus is there. He's on Battleworld.
Do you think he plays into it?
I think he does. Yeah. I think the Fantastic Four and Galactus go.
Mm-hmm. Do you think RDJ Doom is in Fantastic Four? I might have asked you this last time.
I think you did ask me this last time, and I still think maybe a cameo,
maybe a post-credit scene,
maybe a post-credit.
I think Doom gets referenced.
He definitely does, because you need the sort of vibe between.
Because he got his power.
It's fantastic.
Was that just for the 2000s?
It was just for the 2000s.
That he gets the powers in the same instant.
Victor Von Doom is basically a tech magician.
Right.
He learned his abilities and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
They just tied it into the 2000s film.
And then they did the same for the shit 2014 one.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
That film didn't happen.
Yeah, it was just the Fantastic Four.
We do love you.
We do love Michael B. Jordan, but that film was terrible. Yeah, so I think it's all connected. I think Victor Von Doom. I think they'll definitely mention Latveria, which is Von Doom's country.
Yeah.
I think they'll definitely mention that in Fantastic Four. So, Ralph, now that we've spoken about Doomsday and we've had a lot of conversation about Spider-Man...
Sorry, I forgot. Is there anyone, just really quickly, who was missed off that list who you're surprised at?
Spider-Man.
Other than...
Daredevil.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Wolverine.
Yeah, are you shocked that which of the X-Men were...
I think it was very strange. I think, because we got what? There was Mystique, there was Cyclops...
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic... Professor X...
Magneto.
Gambit.
Was Ryan Reynolds on there? I don't think he was he?
Which I think is weird. No Deadpool, no Wolverine, no Spider-Man. We're talking about the big hitters. They're leaving him out.
Do you think they're actually missing the film, or do you think that's just an incomplete cast list?
I think Spider-Man's missing the film.
I would agree Spider-Man is.
I think the other ones, we're going to have a lot of surprise characters they're not telling us about.
Okay, cool. That's it. I think we can... I'm happy to move on to Spider-Verse now.
We're on the multiverse. We're on the Spider-Verse.
On the Spider-Verse, most importantly.
We've got a release date.
We do.
It's finally 2027. It was supposed to come out in 2024.
Was it not going to come out this year?
No. It was supposed to come out in 2024.
Was the last one 2023?
Yeah. It was 2023. It was supposed to come out in 2024. It's 2027. I think we might be getting Spider-Verse still before the Batman, so that's a positive.
The Batman Part 2.
Yeah, that's still a positive.
See, I don't mind waiting, but it has to be. They have to land now.
Yeah, they do. I think.
I think they will.
I think they will. I mean, they've got a great track record, and it says to me that if they're putting all this time in, it's gonna be good. We've got some images released.
We do have some images.
It was. We got the Miles G. Morales Prowler. Looks amazing. Yeah. We got a shot of Gwen and Miles, which looks like it's in Hobie's world.
That would be cool.
Which would be nice. And then we've just got a bunch of really funky, colourful shots. And I think it's going to be something quite special.
I would agree, yeah.
I think it's got to hold up, at least. It's got to tie in.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I would agree.
Do
you think any of the current MCU stuff ties into it at all? No. I
think they leave. If they do, I'm going to hate it. I need them to keep it separate.
Yeah, I would agree.
I like that they put Donald Glover as Prowler in there as just like a one-off. You know what I mean? I thought that was a nice little reference, but I just...
Do you think if they did an MCU Prowler, it's Donald Glover?
Yeah. I'd want it to be.
I would too.
Because I think he's great. And he was the original inspiration for Miles, and I think that would be nice.
Mm-hmm. There's a point where he might have played Miles, wasn't there?
Yeah. There is...
He's a bit old now.
There's been a few rumours about who's doing the soundtrack as well.
I've heard Tyler, the Creator.
I've heard Tyler, the Creator.
I don't know if that was an April Fool's, though.
That's the thing. It's that all of these were released on April 1st.
About, yeah.
So we have no idea what's true or not. I think it'd be great if it was Tyler, the Creator.
I would agree. I don't know if it's not... It's quite different to Metro.
Yeah.
Would be the thing. And quite different to Post Malone and Juice WRLD and the stuff that did the first one. It'd be a lot more... I think he could do I don't know if he could do the whole soundtrack. I think he could do well, no, obviously he could do it. I mean, he's obviously good enough to...
He's very
I just
talented.
don't know...
I think he's probably going to have a lot of features and stuff. I think it's going to be more of a collaborative thing than the last two, maybe. I don't know. But I think that... you see, the thing is, because I love those movies so much, I trust the team so much that I think whatever they choose, it will be good. Now, we've got a little game today.
We do.
So last time we did a starting 11 for Marvel things.
We did do that.
And today, we are going to go through our top 10 Spider-Man films.
Are we just doing top 10 or are we doing all of them? Is there only 10?
Well, I think there's only like 10.
Okay, well, I'm currently putting mine together.
Yes, I know Ralph looks like he's been super rude whilst he's on the podcast looking at his phone. I don't think there is there only 10? God knows. But... we have got... Yes, there is only 10 films. We're going to go through... I'm going to say one, then he's going to say one. We're going to go back and forth. And Ralph has told me that he has some quite controversial takes today. But whilst Ralph is writing his list down, because he's not a very prepared co-host, I'm going to do a little segment called Comic of the Week. Now, if you don't know, I am obsessed with comic books, and every Wednesday we get new ones. And this week, I think the one that you should be picking up is Absolute Batman number 7. It's part of this absolute universe that DC's got going on at the minute, where they have all of these alternate realities. They kind of stole it from the Marvel's Ultimate Universe, but I don't mind. The new comic is going to be, I think it's our first look at Absolute Mr. Freeze. Everything with Mr. Freeze is always really good. I mean, we all love the Batman animated series
Arnold
episode.
Schwarzenegger.
Yep, he also played Mr. Freeze in that one movie that we should not talk about because it's terrible.
What? That's my favourite Batman.
It's a terrible film. But I think he's going to be done really well. I have absolute faith in the Absolute Batman team. So if you're going down to your local comic book stores on Wednesdays, pick it up because I think it'll be really good.
Quick sidebar, who's your favourite Batman?
Batman actor?
Yeah.
Love Michael Keaton.
Is that your favourite film?
Are we allowing voice actors?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, then it's Kevin Conroy without any conversation.
Which one was that one?
Arkham series, Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, right.
He is the definitive voice of Batman, and nobody will tell me otherwise. It's the same with Mark Hamill as the Joker. No one does it better, apart from maybe Heath Ledger.
Fair enough.
Who's your favourite Batman?
I've only really watched the films. I like Pattinson. I'm basic.
Pattinson is great, though.
He's great.
Pattinson is great. I love his movie.
I like his Batman. Awesome. I feel like his Bruce Wayne is very in keeping with what a Bruce Wayne would be in the real world in terms of that reclusive billionaire.
I think in the second one he's going
to be a bit more playboy.
Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Anyway,
to our list now. I think I'll go first.
All right.
At my number 10 pick, I have Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Wow.
I think it's kind of mid.
Wow.
I'll say this: I don't think any Spider-Man film is bad. I would happily sit and watch any Spider-Man film.
I disagree, but
what's your number
10? Spider-Man 3.
No.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3.
So underrated. It's so good.
Nah. I honest to God, I
Bully Maguire. Have you never finished it?
I haven't finished it.
Oh
no.
my God.
I've seen the final battle just on its own.
Bully Maguire.
And I've seen
is unbelievable.
the first
love the black suit.
Half of it.
None of that's getting you. Sandman.
Nah. I did the best bit was the very very beginning scene when he's fighting Harry.
Yeah, that's a good scene. What with the ring?
With the ring, because in a start fight, especially a solo film, you're never worried about their safety because it's the beginning of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they do he dies here and then flashback and then it catches up, you know he's going to be fine. But it's the ring, and that in the whole trilogy, his relationship with MJ is a bit hit and miss sometimes. It's quite, strained.
Yeah.
You know that if that ring fucks up, that could fuck up his entire engagement.
That is true.
And at that point, because they've been so on again, off again, and XYZ, they're not afraid to bring them up, basically.
Now I've got my next one written down here, and I'm really starting to question it. I'm gonna have to change it. I'm gonna have to put Spider-Man 3 next. For basically the reasons we've just said. I will stand by the fact that it's underrated.
Okay.
But the rest of them are just better.
Right. Okay.
Me, for the exact reasons that we've just spoken about.
Now, this is where people
get
get the pitchforks out. My second worst Spider-Man film, and this is the last Spider-Man film that I actively dislike watching.
Right.
It's the first Tobey Maguire one.
Are you joking?
I just find it really cringe. I just don't think it's
right. No, walk me through this, because that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard you say. I know. That movie is amazing.
I just
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe is great.
Toby is great.
I disagree.
What is wrong with him? His Peter Parker is so good, and his Spider-Man's great.
I just don't find it very watchable.
Personally. You're waffling.
I know.
Waffling.
I understand I'm in the minority, and you can feel free to call me wrong. Please comment it, because it makes the video do better. So please comment how wrong I am. But I just don't. I don't know if it's just the 2000s.
Give me three reasons why it's bad.
I don't like. This is a bit harsh for me. I don't like the special effects.
It's 2002.
That's harsh, yeah. I find him a bit uncomfortable to watch. I know he's meant to be a nerd, but I feel like he's a bit too nerdy. Not like,
You're giving me like a heart.
He's not like, he's a nerd, like wholesome kind of. You don't feel bad for him, but you're like, yeah, he just seems. It makes me uncomfortable watching him talk to MJ, and also I just don't like MJ in that entire trilogy.
If Spider-Man 2 is not in your top 5, by the way, I'm gonna hit you.
All right, let's move on to number 8.
Oh my god. For me, I have, and I'm gonna preface it before I say it. It has the best suit, the best swinging, the best romance, some of the best acting. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has a rough plot.
I don't think it's got the best suit, but the rest of it I agree with.
Wait, are we including the No Way Home final swing?
I'm just talking every Spider-Man suit ever. I don't think it's.
I think the Tarzan 2 suit is gorgeous. It's actually just like.
I agree. It's a really nice suit.
I'm like, yes.
It's a really nice suit, but I don't think it's my favorite.
I think if we cut out half of the movie, it's great. I mean, I think the Green Goblin sucks, and I think Electro's not great, but I love the Clock Tower scene with all my heart.
Clock Tower scene is great. I think they did a little bit too much to foreshadow a death, if I'm being honest.
There's a touch of it, but to be fair, we already knew it was going to happen because it's like the biggest thing in Spider-Man comic history.
Fair enough.
I think Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone in that movie.
They have great. Were they going out at that time?
They were.
So yeah, they've obviously got great chemistry.
Their chemistry is unbelievable.
Also, her shouting Peter as he webs her to the car.
Oh,
just being an outtake.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Hang on, we got to pause. We
paused.
On identity reveals, right? How much stuff in a crime scene has Daredevil touched with his bare hands in this new season of Born Again? He was going through the Muse crime scene, just stroking every picture. Does this man not have fingerprints or something? He has left evidence that he is Daredevil on every piece of...
So you're not complaining that he's able to identify his victim based off a flat painting?
Well, I mean, that's got its own problems. But he is literally a lawyer, and he's rubbed fingerprints all over a crime scene.
Maybe he's just burnt his fingerprints off. That's the first thing I would do if I was Daredevil.
I mean, me too, but we don't know that.
He didn't show it, so yeah. Yeah, fair
anyway,
enough.
That was my little rant.
Anyway.
You had Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well?
I had the same, yeah.
My next one is No Way Home. I rewatched it. I mean, I love it. When I went to see the cinema, I will say this, probably the best cinema experience I've ever had.
It's good, yeah.
All cheering, all clapping, Charlie Cox's return, the other Spider-Men.
Yep.
I realised a couple of months back when I rewatched it, I am only watching that film for the third act.
Really?
I watch it from the point that Andrew Garfield's there. Because I love him too much.
Fair enough. I think... I disagree. My number 7 is Spider-Man 2. Now, I've only seen it once.
No. Because
now, I've only seen it once.
That is an outrageous thing.
And I think it's a good film. And I think Doc Ock is amazing. I just prefer the other ones. Now, here's what I will say. I've grown up on Andrew Garfield ones. I watched these when I was older. So, my, brain wasn't like, yay, Spider-Man, I like this film. Which is... And then, as you get older, you go, but I loved it so much as a kid, so you then overrate it. So I didn't do that for those three, and then you can argue I've done that for The Amazing Spider-Man 1. But yeah,
offended.
I think the Doc Ock is great. I think the love story is annoying. I think
MJ sucks. But
I still don't like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man personally.
Wrong.
I don't like the suit.
You don't like the suit?
I don't like the suit.
Why don't you like the suit?
It just upsets me. Yeah, and I just prefer the other ones.
That is.
I just think the other ones are better.
Horrible thing you've ever said. We're gonna move past you because you're irritating.
Okay.
My next one is Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire. It is. I mean, it's great. I absolutely adore that film, but I think other ones have a little bit more pizzazz to them. They're a little bit more Spidey. You know me. I'm obsessed with like comic vibes, and I want them to feel like I'm watching a comic book displayed on screen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my ethos towards it. What have you got?
I've got the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Now,
Too low.
I think it's a great film, but I just don't think it fits the Spider-Man vibe. It's a bit too Dark Knight, which is obviously what was in fashion at the time.
I get that.
He's not other than when he gets the car thief, I don't think he's light-hearted enough as Spider-Man.
No, but that's because he doesn't. This is one thing I love about Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I'll get into a little bit more when I put it on my list. But for the first hour, he's not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then when he becomes Spider-Man, he's there to hunt the guy who killed his uncle for the next 20 minutes. So he's not supposed to be fun Spidey until he jacks the car thief.
But the car thief he also thinks killed his uncle.
Yeah, and then that's kind of like the last one. And then after that, it's
that's
the lizard.
all he's light-hearted about. And the lizard, he's fighting the lizard because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And he's the one who's figured out that it's Connor's.
Yeah.
Right? And he feels responsible because he helped with the serum. I feel like he could, even just like the way the film looks, it's a lot darker and bleaker. I also think that I prefer the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, personally.
Oh, that's a take.
Is a take.
I
know that kind of goes against my own point of being a bit more vibrant as a Spider-Man because it is a bit more muted as a suit.
I like the suit with his mask off.
You don't like the mask?
I hate the mask. I think the lenses are ugly.
The lenses are my favourite part, to be honest.
There's a shot of him. You know the bit when the lizard's on the bridge?
Yeah.
There's a shot of him looking down, and he's got no mask on, and he takes his shirt off, and he's got the suit underneath. And the back of the suit looks amazing.
So good.
The back logo looks awesome, and
so
it's got like
good.
moonlight shining on it, and it looks amazing. And I remember seeing it, and I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest suit ever. And then he puts the mask on, and he turns around, and I'm like, that is fugly. That is disgusting.
This might be a slightly controversial take. I liked what they did with Peter Parker in this film. I like that he's a bit of a... He's not a nerd in terms of like glasses and maths and stuff. He's just a loser.
Yeah.
He's just a lonely loser.
Yeah.
And I quite like that.
I love it. I think he's my favorite. Well, Andrew Garfield, as I've probably said 1,000 times on my channel before, is my favorite Spider-Man. I think he's brilliant. And I think his Peter Parker is the perfect amount of everything, and I think his Spider-Man is just lovely. I think the second one he quips more as well, so I like it more.
I feel like just the because his conversations are really awkward, but it's like an awkward that you understand more than what I feel like Tobey Maguire's awkward is. Tobey Maguire's awkward for me is a bit harder to watch, whereas Andrew Garfield's is a bit more like, oh, he's trying.
I mean, Spider-Man 1, though, it's like really goofy. It's quite stylized. You think you're not watching like a realistic performance.
I agree. And that's just my own personal taste that I prefer the
more realistic stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
My next one, and we're getting into the real heaters here, okay? It's my top 5.
Yes.
They're all pretty peak. Spider-Man Homecoming.
I agree.
I absolutely
Number
love
5
it.
for me.
I think it's brilliant. I think it is Tom Holland's best work as Spider-Man.
I disagree.
I think Tom Holland is brilliant in this movie. I think the suit is great. I love the Stark suit. I think it's got the right amount of comedy, and I think it plays into that sort of, he's in high school, he's having all these human problems.
Yeah.
And the homemade suit, hot take.
I love the homemade suit.
Top 5.
Top 5?
Top 5 of all time.
I don't think it's top 5,
I think
but
it's
I love
amazing.
it.
I think it's such a good suit.
I think
Vulture's great for
Vulture
a first
great.
villain for him.
Yeah. It's a good... Because it's kind of like a blend between street level and more serious, because obviously the other ones exist kind of post-Avengers. The Avengers don't really exist after Endgame. So you can get away with a bigger story because there are no Avengers to come in. If you went at this point in New York...
Yeah, there's so many
Mysterio, and the way they did Mysterio in Far From Home, then, yeah, you would have had at least a Sam Wilson Falcon coming in, like they did in Ant-Man. Whereas doing it as he's a thief, but no one even knows the stuff's been stolen at the start. That's the whole point, because he takes from the containers that then just go in storage and are never opened.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good.
The reasons point. I love this film are the reasons why Far From Home's at the bottom for me. It's because this film, if you're going to introduce Spider-Man into the MCU, and in Civil War you've given him Iron Man tech, you have to have this film. Him and RDJ balance really great. By the end of the film, he's realised, I don't actually need the Stark tech. I just need to be great. If you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it. So then they make Far From Home, and he's completely nothing without the suit, and he cannot do anything, and he completely relies on Stark tech the whole time, and he sucks. And he gives away the glasses to Mysterio like a chump. Yeah. Hate it. Hate it.
I was going to say something else about this film, I feel. Yeah, I like the balance between Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I like that he is still quite naive, and he loses a lot because of it. I will just say there are certain fights when I think he should have won just as a narrative thing, because he doesn't actually win a fight in the film.
Yeah, I saw this on the Escape Pod podcast.
He doesn't win a fight.
He doesn't win anything for
He doesn't beat either Shockers. Ned beats the Shocker.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that.
He doesn't beat Tooms. Tooms explodes.
Tooms kind of kills himself.
And he saves him. He doesn't beat Scorpion. That's Iron Man.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not proper. He doesn't win on the ferry. Iron Man has to save him. He doesn't beat them, when they're selling to Donald Glover.
He doesn't win anything.
He doesn't win anything in that film. And obviously, he's a kid. He's naive. He's having a lot of fun with it. And the whole point is he thinks he's above this. He's kind of proving himself wrong the whole film. See, if you can't deal with these criminals, these sort of lower level criminals of just even the bank heist, they get away. Which again is him thinking, I'm above this, so I'm going to have fun with it. And then he underestimates, and they start playing with the weapons, and then it goes wrong, and he saves the cat and
I think
XYZ.
If you went... See, this is my whole problem with Far From Home again. I think that film sets it up beautifully. He realises right at the end, I'm not a full-fledged superhero yet. I shouldn't be an Avenger yet.
I need more experience.
Then they go to the Avengers, and it's great. If he comes out of Avengers with No Way Home, for example, just hear me out, with that level of maturity he has in that film, great. Far From Home, we go from I lose everything, Thanos, and back to being an idiot kid. And then No Way Home, he's back to where he should have been after Endgame, in my opinion.
Right, okay. Alright, what's your number? Are we on number 4 now?
My number 4 is Spider-Man 2. Just for the reasons you said, Dr. Octopus is great. I think Tobey's fantastic in this film. MJ is the worst love interest in the history of cinema. But I think Tobey is brilliant. I love the whole losing his powers with an existential crisis sort of thing. I think that's brilliant. Suit looks great. It's very funny. Great villain. Some good acting overall. I really like it.
My number 4 is Far From Home.
Outrageous.
I love Jake Gyllenhaal's performance as Mysterio. I kind of wish they'd done more hallucinogenic, comic accurate Mysterio.
That hallucination sequence, by the way,
on the bridge.
No, in the... when you see the grave when Iron Man comes out?
That's so good.
So good. I will say that.
I think it does really well at taking Peter from a place of, I've solved it, I'm going to fix it, to literal rock bottom, hit by a train. He has the identity and the location of all my friends. He's going to kill all my friends. He thinks I'm dead. He's going to win. And there's very little I can do kind of moment.
I feel that.
I think that's one of the best MCU films at doing that.
Yeah, but then personally. He goes back to a jet, makes a Stark suit, and relies on Stark tech for the
I agree, but it's his design, which I like. I like this his design. It's his plan. I like the stuff with Happy and May. That's quite funny. I just like Happy in general.
What about the world's most forced romance between Zendaya and Tom Holland? Didn't need to be there.
I enjoyed it.
It wasn't present in Homecoming at all.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, but he's in high school.
Nah, I suppose.
People fancy each other and then don't a week after in high school.
That is very
That's
true.
kind of the whole point. And how many years is it in between? It's after
Endgame.
It's after Endgame. So
yeah,
and they did get snapped obviously for 5 years.
They both died at the same time, yeah.
So it's just kind of they're both on the team together, the maths team. They're both spending a lot of time together.
Trauma bonding.
Exactly. these sort of things. It is Zendaya.
But what about the whole thing where that guy sees a picture of him in his underwear, so he basically orders a drone strike?
Yeah, but he didn't mean to order a drone strike.
It's just Peter Parker being an idiot again, man. He's supposed to be smart.
I enjoyed it, is my thing.
My next one is TASM. The Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
I think it's unbelievable. I think it's just a really good film. I think the scene with the cranes, where they all...
The cranes is amazing.
Swing, I think that's brilliant. I think Aunt May and Uncle Ben in that film, the performances they put in are really good.
They're really good,
Aunt May specifically. I think Emma Stone and Peter and Andrew Garfield, they're just so
Same
good
reasons.
on screen together.
Yep, I agree.
It's brilliant. It just misses all of the rubbish stuff from Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, literally the only reason I put Amazing Spider-Man 1 lower is because I prefer Tom Holland as Spider-Man personally, and Peter Parker. I prefer the vibe of the MCU being a lot more vibrant and colourful compared to the Amazing Spider-Man, which I feel like has to be in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then, I don't think he was quippy enough.
Okay.
Anyway, number 3 for you. You've just done number 3.
Yeah, what
number
was yours?
3 for me is Into the Spider-Verse.
How is that not even in the top 2? That film is it's perfect.
I don't think it's perfect.
I don't have a single problem with that film. I don't think.
I have problems. I can't remember them though.
I mean, to be fair, top 3 is a decent
top
spot.
3.
You've got no complaints really there, are you?
I literally have minute nitpicks at the film, which is what was it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember it just being a little minute thing which really doesn't bother you that much. I just think the other 2 are better.
I understand that.
It's like if you were, if you were talking about Steph Curry and you said he was 3rd, as good as he is, he's not Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
You've got to remember you're speaking to this audience.
If you're talking about
good sports, man.
No, what's give me a Doctor Who who's really good.
Matt Smith.
Right, give
David
me
Tennant.
2 more Doctor Who's that are really good. Matt Smith, David
Tennant, Peter Capaldi, and Christopher Eccleston.
Right, so you're talking about Christopher Eccleston, who's an amazing actor, right? Good Doctor Who.
Yep.
You, on his own, could be one, but because you've got Matt Smith, David Tennant, etc., he's not.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's not one because it's bad. It's not one because the others are good.
It's 3 because the others are better.
Which is about a 500-word essay on saying I like the other 2 more.
I feel that. Okay, I like that.
Everyone knows Steph Curry, LeBron James, and fucking.
In my number 2 spot.
Yep.
I've got Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
For exactly what you just said, it's only not in number 1 because I prefer my number 1 more. It's got so much of the charm of the first one. I think it's probably got a better soundtrack.
I agree.
I think
it's got a better story, personally.
I think everything up until Miles goes through the portal into Mumbattan. Not saying anything past that is bad, because it's all great. I love it. It's like a visceral reaction. I think it's stupendous. I think it's just brilliant. I love his life in Brooklyn. I love seeing where he's at this point. It's lovely. I love the multiverse. I think it's all brilliant. I love the fight with Miguel, starting to question why I've put it in second. I think it's so great. I think Miles' suit is nowhere near as good as in the first one. I think Peter B. Parker is way more annoying, but doesn't get enough screen time, even though he's my favourite part of Into the Spider-Verse. That annoyed me a little bit.
Love Jake Johnson.
Shout
out Nick Miller.
I think it is honestly an unbelievable film. I saw that in cinema.
There were very few
7 times.
I think it's the best animated film ever. And there are very few live action films better than it.
I would agree. I think it's just. I'm really questioning putting this in my number 2 now. I might have to switch it around after this.
Well, I'm going to talk about my number 2, which is No Way Home.
Foul, but yeah, okay.
I just really like it.
It was. You know what?
It's just fun.
It's a great film.
It's
all of
fun.
These films are great.
I love the fight in the mirror dimension. Visually, it just looks really nice.
Okay.
I like that, and I like that he is a nerd and he wins via maths.
The Green Goblin fight was peak.
In the apartment
complex.
is so good, and the fact that Willem Dafoe did a lot of that himself with Tom Holland is so good. How old is he in that? 60 something, 50 something?
No, 60 something.
60 something. Yeah, it's great. His performance is amazing. The villain's performance is amazing. I love how they kind of corrected Electro.
Yep, they did.
Is a lot better
way
than
better.
TASM. I think the dynamic between the 3 Spider-Men is really good, and like the conversations they have is really good. I think it's Tom Holland's best performance as Spider-Man.
I'd agree.
My only My only complaint isn't really a complaint. It's just if, as a writer myself, how I would have written the story slightly differently. Which obviously I've done it, so to me it would be better. But I'm not saying I'm better than writers who work for Marvel. The way the story went was different and not what I was expecting. I still enjoyed it, and there are very few films that I think are better than it, and Across the Spider-Verse is one of them, which is my number one.
I very quickly would like to say that when the film first came out, I was obsessed with the integrated suit. You know, the gold spider. It's gone down to like more bottom suits, but the final swing suit.
It's so good.
I'd say that's the best bit of the film. Just that last 30 seconds is like my favorite bit of the whole film because it's the most Spider-Man.
I this film for me can drop down quite a bit.
Yeah.
If Brand New Day doesn't land, because this film sets up Brand New Day to be
the best film ever,
most accurate, perfect Spider-Man film.
It needs to land
because you can either go. Spider-Man in the comics is obviously very tied in with his multiversal counterparts.
Yes.
So you can go with that and it can still work. I would prefer though it goes a lot more friendly neighborhood, grounded, either like Kingpin, Scorpion, something like that. Mr. Negative has been talked about, which would be quite cool. Obviously, from most people know him from the Spider-Man game. You know, whoever it is, I think you gotta. Yeah, I think if it lands, this is the perfect alley-oop film for that film.
I think so too. I think they'll both elevate each other.
Another sports reference. I'm sorry.
I put Into the Spider-Verse in my number one. Now, up until about 6 weeks ago, it was the other way around.
Right, have you rewatched it recently?
I rewatched it recently. I watched Across the Spider-Verse about 7 times in the cinema because I thought it was amazing and it was my favourite film. It was the only film ever to push past The Empire Strikes Back for me. It's the only film that ever pushed past The Empire Strikes Back for me, which is a huge deal because that's been my favourite movie since I was like born.
Yeah, easily the best Star Wars film.
I loved it so much. I then rewatched Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
And Jake Johnson alone is what bumps it up. I think the story is amazing. The visuals are perfect. I can't believe I'm saying this because we're talking about the Spider-Verse films, but it's grounded.
Yeah.
Like obviously Across the Spider-Verse is brilliant because it's so huge. Like there's so much going on. But I love that it's all contained in one universe. We meet all these really interesting characters. It was the first time we saw all this animation. I think every single character is done beautifully because they're all essentially as comic accurate as you can get whilst being distinct. I thought the villain was great, Wilson Fisk, street level whilst also being multiversal, which I think is the kind of vibe I want from Brand New Day. Miles' suit is the best Miles suit in existence. Peter B. Parker, hilarious.
I love the whole spray paint trait of his character in the suit, exactly. in him, in this.
And it also
conflict with
fixed Miles Morales. Because in the comics up until that point, he was kind of a hated character because he was just rubbish. He was boring. They fixed him with that film. And it's officially my favourite film of all time. I think it is unbelievable.
Alright, my number one is Across the Spider-Verse. And I agree with everything you've just said. I just think Across the Spider-Verse was able to take everything great about Into the Spider-Verse and make it bigger.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, the soundtrack is so much better.
I would 100% agree. And I never thought I'd say that.
I don't know if they did for Into, but I hope they just get a producer to do a sound, because a lot of times you'll get like an artist, like Ariana Grande will do a song, or Rihanna will do a song, or Beyonce will do a song, whatever. They got Metro Boomin, who is one of the greatest like producers of today's era of music, and especially that style of music, which is very Miles Morales. The first album was basically everyone in the world. Well, because
Sunflower was huge. I don't think there's a song beside. I mean, maybe final song, credits song. Can't even remember what it's called now. I've listened to it too many times. Am I dreaming? That's the only thing that comes semi close to how popular Sunflower was.
Popular. I thought you were talking about how good, because I was going to say I think a lot of I don't even think Sunflower's the best song on that.
Neither do I, but it was massive when the film came out. It sold the film to a lot of people 100%.
As well. Yeah, so I think the soundtrack's better. I think obviously in the first one, the animation they did with Miles, where they animated him on 12 and everything else was on 24.
Yeah, that was
so
awesome.
He looks a lot choppier. I like how they took the same sort of idea of different characters animated differently and just made it bigger.
Like with Hobie.
So with Hobie, he's got obviously his outfit, him, and his guitar are animated on different frames.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in different styles.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
it looks unique to him. Obviously, you've got Gwen's universe, which is very pastel.
And it's Mood Ring universe as well, which
yeah.
I loved.
And it's beautiful to look at. And then obviously you've got Miles, and then you've got... You even mix in some of the live action stuff with Donald Glover, and you mix in... You know,
we got Yuri Lowenthal, PS4 Spider-Man in there.
PS4 Spider-Man in there is great.
I think it was great because there's a lot of cameos in there as well that were really awesome.
Yeah. The cast as well. I know it's largely the same people.
But like you added Daniel Kaluuya and stuff. And
you added Daniel Kaluuya. You added who played the Indian Spider-Man?
I cannot remember his name.
But he was also Dopinder, isn't he?
Yeah, he was Dopinder. But you also got Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac was
brilliant in that film
and
as
he
Miguel.
Completes the trilogy of X-Men, Spider-Man, and MCU now.
I'm gonna say something.
The treble. Even.
I'm gonna say something that I might get some hate for.
What?
The Miguel suit is ass in that film. It's awful.
Really?
I hate it. The post-credit scene of Spider-Verse in his actual 2099 costume. Literally, I saw it and I was like, I want to watch the sequel so bad because that suit is gorgeous. And then they changed the suit. But we're hoping for the white suit in the third one.
That was in the background, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got my boy Ben Reilly on screen in Across the Spider-Verse, by the way.
Andy Samberg as well.
Andy Samberg. It's brilliant. And I will say the score as well, quickly. Not even the soundtrack.
The score, yeah.
Gwen's
brilliant.
theme,
Gwen's
you know, when
theme.
she's swinging, it's like...
Miguel's theme as well.
Yeah.
It's great. Hobie's like punk rock.
Yeah.
Everything is amazing.
I'm really questioning this now.
Even like on a different level, because you've obviously got a Spider-Man from an Indian New York combination. Yeah. You've got a British one for Spider-Punk. You've got, obviously, Brooklyn Miles Morales. You've got Gwen Stacy from that stuff. Miguel O'Hara, who's Hispanic.
Yeah.
Like, and you cast actors and let them bring their, like, culture into the characters that they share with. So, like, Daniel Kaluuya did a lot of, like, help with... how his character talks.
Hobie's the highlight of that
stuff
film as well.
And same with, we're forgetting his name, but...
the guy who played Pravita Prabhakar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is just great, and...
It's such a good film. It's very interchangeable with the Into for me. I think they're very close.
I haven't seen a single person with a single problem with that film.
Me neither. I've never seen anyone talk negatively about that film.
Like, it is... And it's such a good cliffhanger to the point where the guy I went to see it with, one of my best mates, said, I wish they'd just made a 4-hour
I'd have sat there for the 4 hour, yeah.
Just so that, because the cliffhanger is so good.
But you see, this is why we're all, I think it really speaks to how good the film was, that we're all
desperate for it to be longer.
For the next one.
For the next one. Oh, this to be longer.
Yeah, we're so desperate for this next one that we've all been so like annoyed at how long it's taken because we're desperate to see how the story finishes.
This could genuinely be, and should be, a perfect trilogy.
I will say that the first two are perfect, and I believe the third one will be, and if so, it's the greatest trilogy of all time. It will beat the original Star Wars trilogy for me.
Aren't the Lord and Miller doing a Spider Noir show?
They are, and I just don't know how I feel.
And then after that, they're saying they're leaving because apparently there have been some creative differences between them and Sony. Now,
I didn't know anything about this.
This is what I heard on like TikTok or something, so it might not be true. But let's just assume that it is true. Let's compare CVs, right? You've got Lord and Miller, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Hit, probably a hit, right? Then let's go to Sony. Madam Web. Morbius. Craven. Venom. Venom 2. Venom again. Venom again.
Yeah, it's
again.
Just...
You've got even like, we've rated them quite high, or you have rated a lot of them quite highly, but like mixed reviews for TASM 2, mixed reviews for Spider-Man 3, like...
It's true. It's clear that some
their record is not as good, so why would you...
Just let them cook. You know what I mean? Like, just let them do it. Let them make you money.
Why would... If they were like, all right, we want to do this in the future, so can you set this up? Do it your way, but set this up.
Yeah. Let them go. go off.
That's probably the best middle ground you can get. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like if it's bad, it's because of Sony, not because of Lord and Miller, because they've been amazing so far.
Lord and Miller, right?
It's crazy how cinematic an animated project can be.
I'm still not over the fact that they made that Warner Brothers made the Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
Right.
As great as it is,
right? But they turned down a pitch from Lord and Miller, the people who have made millions for Sony, for a Batman Beyond project. Yeah. How do you turn that down?
Yeah. They've got a track record.
And it's Batman.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Batman.
It's not like, I feel like it's a safer bet to do it with Batman than Miles Morales.
Oh my god, yeah, definitely.
Because Batman's a household name. Miles Morales is a lot more of an obscure character.
Yeah.
And I even remember when it come out, or when it was announced, I was a bit like, ugh. I didn't see it in the cinema.
Did you not see it?
I didn't see it in the cinema.
Wow.
I was a lot younger. It came out in like 2018.
Yeah, I saw it in the cinema and I thought it was amazing, but the fact that we're not getting that Batman Beyond film haunts me to this day.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to say something.
Mm-hmm.
We're on... now, I've just been speaking about DC, and I don't even think this was on our list of topics for the day.
It's not.
But, did you watch the Superman clip?
Is it the one with the dog in the snow?
Yeah, where they take him to the Fortress of Solitude.
Yep.
James Gunn. You're cooking. You're cooking, James. Oh my god, it looks amazing.
It looks so good.
I am so excited. They've got Kellex, the robots, down to a T.
Yep.
Crypto, the suit. I know people have been hating on the suit.
Love the suit.
Love it. The trunk's great. I think he's going to be brilliant. The Fortress looks perfect. It's like comic accurate to the max.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super pleased with that. I just thought we might as well mention it because it's something that's very popular at the minute.
Yep.
We are so excited for the Superman film. I can't wait to do a pod on that at the time.
Neither. We have to go
together. It's going to be brilliant. Obviously.
Don't abandon me this time.
I'm not going to abandon you this time. We have to go together. It's going to be brilliant. I am so, so excited for Superman.
Me too.
Now, is there anything else you'd like to talk about today on this podcast?
Nah.
No. Well, we've got a few things coming up for the next pod, which we're probably going to have to do another pod this month because we've got Star Wars Celebration coming up. We're not going to probably talk about it today, but there's going to be a hell of a lot of reveals at Star Wars Celebration. I'm thinking Mandalorian and Grogu might finally get a trailer, which would be amazing. There's a lot of things going to come from there. We've got plenty coming up this month. We've got Andor at the end of the month. I'm not sure if you've watched season 1 of Andor.
Still need to catch it up. I know it's good. It's good.
Amazing. So we're going to have another pod coming out this month. So don't go anywhere. Hit subscribe, when you're on YouTube. And if you're here on Spotify, which would be blessed.
Miles better. Please come
way
on Spotify
better
as well.
Follow us on Spotify as well.
Yep.
But I think we're going to leave it there today.
We will.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you very much to Ralph for being on the pod today.
Anytime.
And I will see you later. May the Force be with you.